Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I hope everybody's doing good this morning. So I wanted to talk about this disturbing case that's going viral. Everybody named Mama been sending me emails and leaving comments, and T, you got to talk about the missing teens in DC. You're a black woman. You need to talk about this topic. Okay, so first of all, please realize if you are new to my channel that I am not that type of YouTuber. I don't just jump on stories. I'm not thirsty for ad revenue like that, where as soon as something breaks, I got to jump on it. I like to research and find out what exactly is going on, because I don't want to just push out false information or just talk about something that I don't know about. You have people who literally do a story and they're just literally reading off of a post, and they're not adding anything to the story. They're not investigating. They're not doing any of that. And that's not what I do. We posted on my social media pages, on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter to let people know about the DC missing girls, but I was not ready to do a YouTube video until I kind of really investigated, and I wanted to see what the news media was going to say about the situation. Was there anything being done? So yes, I know about what's going on, but I have been waiting and researching and just, trying to go through all the information to find out exactly what is going on with this situation. Okay, so that's why I hadn't done the video. So like I said, I'm just doing a few voiceovers today, and I wanted to address this topic. So what's going on is that basically a post on Instagram went viral a few days ago, and in that post, the post has 14 girls, and it stated that 14 girls had disappeared in DC in a 24-hour period. So the video went viral all over social media. This was on Thursday, and people were very concerned. People were upset. Even Meek Mill had something to say. He's like, so these girls can go missing and nobody's saying anything. The media don't care. But then when Tom Brady's jersey went missing, there was so much media attention, and the damn jersey got found in Mexico. But when it comes to our black children, it's like nobody cares, okay? So that was one of the issues that was going on, and a lot of people were speaking about this, mainly regular people. A few celebrities spoke out on this. So now it's finally gone to the news media. So now you have CNN talking about it, and now you have the local news in DC talking about it too. So I want to go ahead and show you guys the CNN clip first. I want you guys to watch this, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Today in Washington, D.C., more than a dozen teenagers have been reported missing. All of them Black or Latino. These are just some of their faces we're showing. There was an emotional town hall last night. Members of the community spoke out, telling their city leaders they're afraid for their families because of what they view as an apparent spike in the number of missing kids. Sadly, though, for that community, the chief of police told the crowd that this is far from a new problem.
The disturbing fact is that we do have that many kids that go missing in our city, and it's been that way for a long time.
We're joined by Trayon White. He is the D.C. City Councilman for District 8, which is one of the areas where a lot of those kids are missing. Trayon, thank you, or Councilman, I should give you the respect that you're due, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. First of all, there's been some confusion about whether there has been an uptick in the amount of missing kids, or if it's that they are increasing the reporting of the amount of missing kids. Did you feel like you got some clarity last night?
I think there's both. I think there is more awareness of what's going on, and the presence of social media has made it more forthcoming so people can know what's going on. It's relevant information in a timely frame, but the reality is the numbers are just too high, and so we have to face the reality of the fact.
I mean, you look at at 2,000 plus every year. That is, if it's one child missing, it's a frustrating and disturbing thing to begin with. Is part of the challenge in this the issue that it's how they're reported if the child is deemed a runaway as opposed to a child that has been abducted?
What we see is that not a lot of abductions that's going on. We see a lot of missing persons, mostly African-American girls. What the community is alarmed about, we had a 10-year-old girl missing the other day, but there was no Amber Alert. We just feel like, you know, if this was a white person or from another neighborhood, there'd be more alarm about it. But this been going on for quite some time with little to no press. And so we've used social media, got the community involved to get the word out.
All right, so you guys just watched that CNN clip, and in that clip, once again, they were talking about the missing Black and Latina girls. And so, like I said, a lot of the news media is running with this, and they're saying, you know, these girls are missing. It all happened in one day. What's going on? So now this is what the local news in Washington, D.C. is saying. Now, the local news is saying that this is not true, and they want to break down the facts from the fiction, and, you know, people shouldn't believe everything they say on social media, and this is false news. So I want you guys to go ahead and check out what the local news in D.C. had to say about the situation. Check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
DC app this week is about missing girls. Our story debunks a fake report that 14 girls went missing from DC in just one day. DC police told us they're simply sharing missing person cases more often on social media. The Center for Missing and Exploited Children agrees there is no increase here.
We're not seeing what that supports things that we're hearing about significant increases in missing children. Frankly, what we're seeing in Washington, D.C. is probably not unlike what we see across the country in major metropolitan areas.
A D.C. teenager who disappeared on Monday is now back home with her family, but the girl's mother tells News 4's Kristen Wright she hasn't recovered from the emotions she felt while her daughter was missing.
Thinking that somebody's done something to your child and that you'll never see them again.
The things that went through her mind.
As a mother, I've been dying.
Katrina Hunter didn't know if her 17-year-old daughter was dead. She couldn't find her anywhere, the longest 3 days ever.
We was just riding around, just having God lead us, you know, turning down different streets and just praying the whole time.
DC, it's a big place in an even bigger world. To be lost, to be missing, to be out there somewhere. Raw emotion at a packed town hall meeting Monday and questions about missing children of color in the district.
I think there's a lot more that we can do.
So far this month, DC police have tweeted out 27 missing person flyers of children between the ages of 10 and 17. Most have been found. DC Police Commander Chanel Dickerson, head of the Youth and Family Division, reached out live on Facebook to address what has now risen to a national worry.
I love Catherine.
Catherine came home. Things are complicated. There are issues. Her mother says she's run away many times before. Catherine won't say where she was, but says many of the missing teens in D.C. simply want out.
They're leaving. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what they're trying to find.
That's all us parents want, is for them to pick up a phone and say, hey, I'm all right.
A mother of four, Katrina is the first to tell you she and her daughter Catherine have a long road ahead, but at least they are together. In the district, Kristen Wright, News 4.
Late today, Mayor Bowser's office announced 6 new initiatives. The changes include boosting the number of officers assigned to those cases and expanding the local missing person website. And while even one missing child is too many, the truth is more complex than one photo or one number. In the NBC Washington app, we look at what's true and what's not about the issue of missing girls in D.C.
All right, so you guys just saw what the local news is saying, and they're basically saying that no, all 14 girls did not go missing at one time. The police are just deciding to use social media to make people more aware of these young girls becoming missing. So these young girls were missing during the span of a few months, not all in one day, which to me makes sense. It's kind of hard to just kidnap 14 people, you know, just all at one time. And I understand and I respect them for using social media as a platform to try and find these young girls, because where do most young teenagers spend their time? They don't spend their time watching television. They spend their time watching us on YouTube or, you know, watching their Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat feeds. So I'm glad that the police department is using social media to help find these missing kids. Now, with that being said, y'all, as a mother and as a Black woman, this story definitely sends chills down my spine, and I feel bad for the parents. But all of these girls are not just runaways. I feel like the news story left a lot of stuff unsaid. First of all, did they find all 14 girls? Did they speak to all of them? Did they get their stories and find out why they ran away? Even the young girl in the news clip who ran away, I can tell there's a lot of underlying issues going on at home with her and her mother. Because when kids run away from home, there are serious issues going on in the household. Anything from sexual abuse to physical abuse to mental abuse. Everybody's not meant to be a parent. And some people don't know how to handle being a parent. And some people are just mean to their kids. And unfortunately, this really hits home because I was one of those kids in junior high where I was going through so much nonsense in my life. You know, you guys know this because I've spoken about this in previous videos where I had to run away, you know, when I was 14. You know, I eventually came back home, but it was scary. It was scary. It's like me and a few of my friends, you know, we ran away from home, but I was going through a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, that I shouldn't have been going through at 14 years old. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff I should not have been going through as a kid. And I wish that I had a really innocent childhood like some of you guys, you know what I'm saying? I wish that my life would have been a little bit more picture perfect, but it just wasn't, you know, and that's one of the things I went through as a teenager. So when I see that girl story and her running away and them finding her and her, you know, they're trying to figure out what's going on in their family dynamic. That was me when I was a 14-year-old kid. So instead of to just dismiss these kids as runaways and bad kids, you have to get to the bottom of why they're running away. You know what I'm saying? People who are in happy homes, who are being treated well, don't run away from home. Without going into details on my situation as a kid, like I said, some of y'all know about it, some of y'all don't. I don't feel like talking about that in this video because it's not about me. Just know that when a child runs away from home, it's a lot bigger than them just wanting to run away. It's a lot bigger than them just wanting to hang out with their friends. Yes, you have some of those cases, but when children get to the point where they're that desperate that they would rather live on the streets than go and be in a home with heat and lights and, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, it's a serious situation. So I don't like the fact that the news article tried to just chop this up to, oh, it's just kids running away. You know what I'm saying? It's just kids, you know, trying to be grown and they're doing them. And a lot of these girls, they just ran away for a few days and we found them, they're all back. I'm not buying that, okay? Another thing that bothers me, I don't know if you guys realize this, but there's some huge controversy going on right now in DC, right now where these girls are missing. It was just announced a few days ago that not one, but two DC police officers, one who I know for a fact is a black male, okay? I don't know what race the other one is, but one of the cops is black. And the reason why I bring that up is most of these girls who are missing are black or Latino. So being that the cop is black, he's able to blend into the community. You get what I'm saying? Just like the childhood murder cases that happened down in Atlanta. That's how they knew that it had to be a black serial killer, because if it was a white guy, he would have stood out in that black community. So that's the only reason why I bring up race, okay? So what happened is that basically not one, but two Washington, D.C. police officers have been arrested, and basically they're being accused of running a prostitution ring, okay? This entire situation is really disturbing. So what they're saying is that basically a 16-year-old girl was found on Wednesday inside of a Stanton Road apartment. And she was one of a number of girls alleging that this police officer was prostituting her, okay? So this is what she says. She says that she met the suspect 2 weeks ago. And after several meetings, the suspect told her that he had a date for her with an older man. And so, you know, she was kind of confused. Like, well, if I'm dating you, why are you setting me out on a date with another man? And he told her, you know, it's just a date. It's for a way for you to get some money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? I know you kind of broke, whatever. You going through some things. So he told her that basically he's going to change her name to Juicy.
Oh, girl.
And that she would be paid $80 to perform sex acts on this man. And then once she performed the sex acts, she was to give the police officer $20. Okay. And so then she said that she had met 6 other girls inside of this same Southeast DC apartment. And the other girls were telling her the same thing. Like, yeah, I met him. I thought me and him were supposed to be kind of kicking it. And then he started hooking me up with all these other guys. And they're also saying that the police officer took naked photos of these young girls and he put them on backpages.com. They also found in his apartment a large amount of marijuana, condoms, and then there was a large mirror that was also seized, and on that mirror he had the names of other young female prostitutes on it. So this entire situation, you know what I'm saying, call me a conspiracy theorist, y'all say what the hell y'all want to say about me, but something ain't clean in the buttermilk, bitch, okay? You got all these girls missing. I don't care if it's 14 girls supposedly missing in one day or 14 girls missing over the past few months, and then you have 2 police officers who are accused of running a prostitution ring. Y'all 2 and 2 together. How you doing? Now I want you guys to go ahead and watch the news clip. Go ahead and check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
Well, moving on now to other news tonight. Strong words from community leaders hours after DC's police chief speaks out about a disturbing scandal. 2 police officers in 1 week are under investigation for taking advantage of young girls. Roz Plater joins us live from Metropolitan Police Headquarters with the latest on this developing story tonight. Roz?
Allison, the police chief asked the public to have patience and to let the justice system run its course. But in one community tonight, patience is running out.
Anything involving a minor, whether it's the police, a judge, the preacher, whomever, it's a crime.
Community leaders in Southeast D.C. tell us there is outrage here over why a D.C. police officer has yet to be charged with misconduct.
They may be protecting one another. I've heard people say that because it was an ordinary citizen, they would have been arrested by now.
Wednesday night, we watched as officers searched the Southeast apartment home of a fellow D.C. police officer. Court documents say investigators found a missing 16-year-old girl, drugs, a large number of condoms, and evidence the officer may have been pimping underage girls. But the police chief says her department is still investigating.
We are actively trying to determine if there's anything criminal in nature that we can charge the officer with.
Wait a minute. Okay, so in order, maybe the stand is different from the police and the citizen.
Some here say the community is losing faith in the department's ability to police itself.
I think the FBI should get involved in this because it could be a bit larger than what we anticipate.
Some of that uneasiness comes on the heels of another case of alleged police misconduct this same week. Officer Mark Washington was arrested and charged with producing porn after taking naked photographs of a 15-year-old girl while on duty. He may soon be released on home detention.
If all these laws and rules are being broke by those who enforce them, someone needs to do better.
Now, we should tell you that that second officer, we're told by the chief today, continues on light duty, something he's been on for the past year while this investigation continues. We're live at D.C. Police Headquarters.
All right, so you guys just watched the news clip. And so, like I said, something to me is not right. And I don't like how the DC media is being so flippant and dismissive and just calling it fake news. And, oh, you know, all these girls weren't missing at one time. That doesn't negate anything. And if they were all supposedly found and they were just all runaways, well, then I want to see an interview with every last one of those girls that showed up on my damn laptop. I want to see every last one of them girls come forward and say, yes, this is me on this missing persons flyer. I've been found. I ran away. I was going through some stuff at home, but I'm found and I'm safe. Until I see that with all these little girls, I'm not buying what they're telling me. And like I said, I feel like it's a lot of stuff going on. You know, we all heard about the whole Pizzagate situation. And, you know, we have a lot of things going on in this world that's sick, you know, especially with pedophilia and DC, you know, being close to the Capitol and just, you know, it's a lot of stuff that goes on in that part of the country that people are unaware of. But like I said, you have to do your research. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be online sipping tea about celebrity news and gossip. also know what's going on in the world around you. That's what I always tell people, and that's why a lot of people fool with me, because I can talk about any topic. So that's what I'm saying. You guys have to be aware of everything that's going on around you. Love your children. You know what I'm saying? Treat your children right, because when you get older, you gonna need somebody to take care of you, okay? So I just hope that all these girls who are missing eventually come home safe, and just realize, young girls, that if you're going through a lot of stuff like I was going through in junior high, I was going through a lot of shit. Like, I should write a book, all the shit I was going through back then. But if you're going through a lot of things right now in your life, and, you know, especially with your home life is just not what you know it should be, you know, just keep faith. It does get better. It really does. It gets better. It's not easy. I went through a lot of struggles to get to where the hell I'm at today, but it gets better. And this is coming from someone who went through all types of abuse. You got one job, and that's to raise your child, and that's to make your child safe. You know what I'm saying? Hope that they get to school safe and come home safe. And I think if things like this are happening at the bus stop, I think that they should be more parents involved. Get to know your neighbors. Get to know the people in the community. If there's a bunch of kids who go to the same school, get to know those parents. So maybe on the mornings where they got to go to school, there's at least one parent at the bus stop. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to come together as a community. We got to keep these babies safe. You got too many folks who are just about self, and, you know, as long as it's not affecting me and mine, or, you know, I'm out here on the West Coast, I'm not in DC, so it don't affect me. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Anything that goes on in this world can eventually affect you, because that person in DC that you may not know, you may meet them later on in life, and they might end up being your best friend. So never have that mentality that because something is happening in a whole nother part of the country or in a whole nother world that it will not affect you, because you never know who you're destined to meet in the future. You never know who may come into your life and change your life for the better. So we all have to be concerned when children, especially children of color, come up missing, because unfortunately when white kids come up missing, I get an Amber Alert on my phone. My phone will start beeping, and, you know, my phone can be on auto off, vibrate, and that shit will beep when it's a white child missing. And I'm not saying that to be, you know, funny acting. I'm just keeping it real. Most of the Amber Alerts that come to my phone tend to be white children. I don't see many Amber Alerts that come to my phone that are, you know, children of color. And that's just me being 100. If you feel some type of way, unsubscribe and keep it moving. So anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, and I don't want to get emotional. So let me go ahead and get up out of here. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation concerning these missing teens in DC. Are you buying what the news report is, you know, telling us, that this is just a, you know, a fluke? They weren't all missing in one day. This is fake news. They've all been found. They're just runaways. Or do you side closer to my conspiracy that a lot of these girls may not be runaways, and something might have legitimately happened to them, and the fact that there's a prostitution ring right now in that area being investigated, maybe some of those girls are now being pimped out and involved in this prostitution ring. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.